Hey everyone, today I've got an EDH gameplay video for you. I just want to start off by saying that we did play a card wrong for the entirety of this game, but I hope you can forgive us. The card in question is Heirloom Blade. Today I'm playing my Vaevictis Asmati the Dire deck, keeping a hand with Terastodon, Explosive Vegetation, Birds of Paradise, Hellkite Charger, High Market, Forest, and a Mountain. Tina is playing her Sliver Overlord deck, keeping a hand of Karn's Temporal Sundering, Day of Judgment, Quick Sliver, Thran Dynamo, Cavern of Souls, Survivor's Encampment, and a Mountain. Justin is playing Atla Palani Nest Tender, keeping a hand of 7 with Thran Dynamo, Wayfaring Temple, Goblin Bombardment, Sungrass Prairie, Naya Panorama, a Plains, and a Forest. And lastly, Nikki brought her Arahbo Roar of the World deck, keeping Camaraderie, Hunter's Prowess, Quietus Spike, Heirloom Blade, a Plains, and 2 Forests. Justin starts us off, drawing a card and playing a forest before passing to Nikki. Nikki follows, doing the same. Tina draws and plays a mountain before passing to me. I start my turn with some ramp by playing a forest and a Birds of Paradise. Justin begins his second turn with a Naya Panorama and cracks it immediately to find a mountain, then passes the turn. Nikki plays a Plains and passes. Tina begins her second turn and plays Survivor's Encampment. Without anything further, she passes. I draw and play a mountain. Then tapping my lands and my birds for 3 mana, I play an Oblivion Stone. Justin plays a Plains, and with one of each of his colors, he plays a Wayfaring Temple, whose power and toughness are currently 1. Nikki draws and plays a second forest before casting Swiftfoot Boots, then passes to Tina. Tina plays a command tower as her land for turn, and without casting anything, passes to me. I begin my turn, and at the end of my draw step, Tina flashes in Quick Sliver, giving the rest of her slivers flash. In my main, I play a High Market, then cast Explosive Vegetation to find 2 more basics, passing while I search. Justin plays a Cinderglade, which comes in untapped, and uses it to cast some ramp of his own in the form of Thran Dynamo, then passes. Seeing the pattern, Nikki continues, playing a forest before casting Nissa's Pilgrimage, searching her library for basic lands as well. She then passes to Tina. Tina untaps and plays a Rogue's Passage. Not wanting to be left out, she casts a Thran Dynamo. I untap my lands and cast my fearsome commander, Vaevictis. Then I play an Arid Mesa as my land and pass to Justin. Justin casts Rhythm of the Wild, giving all of his creatures Riot. He then taps the rest of his mana to bring out his own general, Atla Palani Nest Tender. He has her come in with a +1/+1 counter and passes to Nikki. Nikki plays a forest for turn and uses her mana to bring out Heirloom Blade and Quietus Spike. She then ends her turn. Tina draws and plays a forest, leaving all of her mana open, and passes to me. I start my turn by casting an Aid from the Cowl. I move to combat and swing Vaevictis at Justin, triggering its ability. I choose the Rhythm of the Wild, Quietus Spike, Rogue's Passage, and my Birds of Paradise as the targets. Everyone gets a permanent to replace their sacrifice cards except for me. I fetch away with my Arid Mesa to get a sorcery off the top of my library, then move to my end step, where my Aid from the Cowl nets me a Lotus Field. Justin begins his turn by tapping his commander to create an egg token. He then casts Goblin Bombardment in order to sacrifice the egg token, dealing 1 damage to Tina's Quick Sliver, killing it. Atla's ability triggers and immediately gives Justin a Vorinclex. Using his now doubled mana, he casts Ilharg the Raise Boar, following it up with a Thornbite Staff. With that impressive turn, he passes to Nikki. Nikki draws and plays a tapped Stirring Wildwood before equipping her Swiftfoot Boots and Heirloom Blade to the Jezal Goldmane that was put into play with Vaevictis. Moving into combat, she uses her commander's Eminence ability to buff the cat and attack Justin for 10 first strike. Justin blocks with Ilharg, taking no damage and putting the pig 3rd from the top. Tina begins her turn by playing an island. She taps her Survivor's Encampment and her Cloud Shredder Sliver to cast Day of Judgment, clearing the board of that pesky Vorinclex. I sacrifice my commander using High Market to gain a life before everything dies. Heirloom Blade triggers on Nikki's creature, and she reveals a Phantom Nishoba, and to our mistake she puts it into play rather than her hand. My turn is a quick one, spending it to recast Vaevictis, then passing to Justin. Justin follows up his devastating last turn with another bomb, Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. The Titan draws him 4 cards before passing. Nikki untaps the lands that she can and repeats her plan from before, equipping her weapons to her cat and playing a Sword of Vengeance in reserve. She sees the threat in Justin and moves to combat using her commander's ability once more, making Phantom Nishobi attack for 13 with Trample and Lifelink. Justin, being at a healthy life total, takes the damage, and Nikki gains 13. Moving to Tina's turn, she feels the pain of the Vornklex from last turn and doesn't untap her lands. She plays a Cinderglade and passes. I play a land and then cast the Great Henge, which has its cost reduced thanks to my commander. Thinking Justin has been taken down a notch, I swing Vaevictis at Nikki, simply for having the highest life total. I choose a permanence to sacrifice, and then we all reveal, this time netting myself a land to replace the one I lost. Tina also gets a land to replace the one she lost, and Nikki and Justin both get creatures. I cast my own Thran Dynamo, and then end my turn, revealing a Llanowar Wastes with Aid from the Cowl's Revolt trigger. Justin then casts Atla and a Strionic Resonator. Moving to combat, he gets some revenge on Nikki by attacking her with Kozilek, triggering his Annihilator ability and causing her to sacrifice 4 permanents. Without a blocker, she takes 12. The Heirloom Blade triggers once more, and once again we make the mistake, netting Nikki the powerful Temur Sabertooth. Without anything more, Justin passes the turn. Nikki untaps and plays a Soul Ring. She attaches the Heirloom Blade to her Temur Sabertooth. Wanting a blocker, she declares no attacks and passes the turn. Tina finally gets to untap her lands and attempts to play Karn's Temporal Sundering. However, due to the legendary clause on the card, she realizes that she cannot, and instead opts to play Constricting Sliver, exiling Kozilek under the creature, and granting her other slivers the same ability. She then gives the turn to me. On her end step, I put a fate counter on my Aid from the Cowl with Oblivion Stone. I untap and begin by casting Crucible of Worlds, bringing the Arid Mesa back from my graveyard as my land for turn. I fetch and use the mana to cast Hellkite Charger, which is an incredible creature with my commander. I attack, swinging Vaevictis at Tina and the Charger at Nikki, triggering both of their abilities. I pay to give myself an extra combat step. We all sacrifice permanents to my commander's ability, and everyone reveals a permanent to replace it. Tina puts a Harmonic Sliver onto the battlefield and blows up the Heirloom Blade. We miss the Constricting Sliver trigger, however. I move to my second combat, again attacking Tina with my commander and Nikki with the Hellkite. We sacrifice more permanents, and Justin reveals the beginning of the end, with Grumgully the Generous. I pass, and reveal the same sorcery as before to my Aid from the Cowl trigger. Justin starts, and immediately slams down Phyrexian Altar. This, paired with Grumgully and a Kitchen Finks that he got off of an earlier reveal, nets him infinite mana and infinite life, which he eloquently demonstrates for us. He follows this up with Woodfall Primus, then continues the loop using Primus to destroy all of our non-creature permanents, sealing the victory. The cleanup. There were definitely some mistakes played this game. Firstly, the misplay of Heirloom Blade, but I don't think that would have changed the outcome. It sucks that we didn't get to see more of either Tina's or Nikki's decks. I think that if I had focused more on Justin, especially near the end, I might have stopped him from winning, but at the time I didn't quite realize the potential of his permanence. If you're in my area and wish to be on an episode of the Hedron Archive, get a hold of me. Until next time.